My upbringing was incredible. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, so I was exposed to everything. I was exposed to hip hop, I was exposed to music, to culture, family, love, hard work, grit, getting it done, make no excuses, all of those things from an early age we created from. It was my cousin. He would take and disconnect all the wires so that I couldn't get on the turntables. So I said, listen, I'm gonna learn how to hook up these wires for myself. So he ignited that flame, and he was the catalyst that drove me to want to get involved and learn. But then when I saw DJ Jazzy Jeff, I saw him and I was watching him on the TV, and he was manipulating this record in 2 records, and he was using a left-right motion with a crossfader. And up until that time, I had a mixer with a rotary, a round fader. I'd never seen anyone DJ with a linear fader, left to right. So I saw him being able to manipulate the records in a way that I couldn't do with the equipment that I had. So he introduced this brand new concept to me, and I was just thrilled. That was it. That was the change. That was the moment. And that really began my journey. From the time when I was a kid, I knew Christ. My mother, she was, passionate about God, so I had an understanding, and a respect, a reverence for God. But it wasn't until the late 90s when I met Pastor Mike, and first time I met him, he says to me, "I love you, brother." And I'm like, I'm from Brooklyn, man, so I was like, oh, wait a minute, we don't trust like that, you understand what I'm saying? Like, nah, you gotta prove. You gotta show and prove. That is the brand. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like branded. It's the Brooklyn brand. You understand? So I'm like, man, listen, he's telling me he loves me. So it was something about the way he said it, though. It was like God was just shining through him, and I believed him. As I continued to develop my relationship with Pastor Mike and continued to be obedient, what Pastor Mike did for me is I said to him, hey, Pastor Mike, well, he asked me questions. He was like, hey, like, what do you need, like, as far as, for your DJing? So I told him, he just asked me a random question. So I'm like, because Pastor Mike at that time was over the youth ministry. So I said, I would love to have a headset that had a mic. It has a mic built in so I could be hands-free while I'm DJing. Because normally you have a microphone and you have your headset separately. So he purchased that for me. And what he did along with that is he had a DJ booth built for me in the youth ministry. Because his mindset was, we can use your skill set here in the ministry. But he didn't just say that to me. He built something and made way for me. So now I was put in a position where I could let that freedom of expression and love for music just flow because he made way for me like God does for us. So that just opened that platform right there for me to just serve because someone believed in me, they expressed their love for me, and then they were able to show it to me. And that put me in a position by him seeing that I was faithful, and willing to serve even before the DJ booth was built, that I had a hunger to want to get involved because he was saying to me, we can use your ministry right where you are. We can use you, your imperfect self, like we all are. We can use you right now. So as I continued to develop a relationship, he started to disciple me. He started to pour into my life. And then when he saw that I was faithful in that, he said, listen, I have a group of men, young men, that I want you to lead. They're called the Tribe of Benjamin. And this was a discipleship structure that was set up. You're discipled so that you can disciple others. And this was over 20 years ago, and I'm still friends with a lot of those guys to this day. Experiencing that made me want to go out and share that gift in as many venues as possible with those who I was able to develop a relationship with. But it started there. It started with somebody saying, I believe in you. I see the God in you. And I see how we can use that and impact your sphere of influence that God has called you to impact through your gifts. Phenomenal, life-changing, life-changing.